Zeta Seti, and this is Green Rush Revolution, and we are here at NuLeaf Dispensaries in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I have Nick Ybarra here, sales manager here. How you doing, Nick? How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing
Great,
today?
fantastic.
Right,
Thank you so much for seeing us today. And so tell us what you do here at NuLeaf.
I am the sales manager here. I make sure everything is products on the floor. I make sure everybody has their educational training. I make sure everybody knows about the product.
Right.
Don't just sell weed, because there's more to it than just selling weed.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure they know the difference between indica, sativa, and hybrid, CBD and THC factors. And I like to show them about the transdermal creams as well. That transdermal, so they penetrate all 7 layers of the skin.
Nice, nice.
Do all that.
So Nick, I mean, how long have you been in the industry for? I mean, I've been in the industry for 26 years, so I've seen it go out of California all the way across the country. I mean, really, nearly from the beginning. And so, how long have you been in the industry for? And like, tell me about your roots.
I would say I've been about 10 years now.
10 years, huh?
I started out in California, you know, growing in California with my brother and everybody else. Started to make a change to Vegas. I saw a big opportunity out here. I knew the business was going to boom, so I ended up coming out this way. Looked around, found NuLeaf. NuLeaf's like a family, really good, oriented place. We have one here in Lake Tahoe as well, and I just thought this was it. This is where I wanted to be. I felt it. You know, you know you're there.
Yeah, you had that feeling, right?
I was there. Yep.
Did you say you started out as a grower?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like we all did. I did too.
Yeah.
You know, and started as a grower. It's kind of like you kind of understand the plant, right? And so it actually naturally transitioned you into being someone who sells products now and understanding exactly from the roots of that plant, exactly how to serve people best, right?
Yes.
And understanding the products. I mean, when I first started, it was just flour.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you had bubble hash.
Yeah.
But you didn't have like topicals, you didn't have any of that other, there's a lot of different variations of products. So can you tell our audience a little bit about like the differences between these products and what's best for each customer, or how does that work?
So it depends on somebody comes in. If somebody comes in saying, oh, they want a medical benefit and they're tired, they can't sleep, I would definitely recommend an indica with some myrcene in it. Myrcene is more sedative, calming, relaxing. That's what some I would go. That shows since I was in the growing background, I know about terps as well. So that would definitely help out. A sativa, definitely go with some terpenoline, basically going in there, something more active, energetic, and yeah, pretty much that.
That's great, man. So I mean, I think it's really important because everybody titrates differently. Like we could both smoke a joint together, and like it maybe make me paranoid and make you fall asleep, right? So it's very important that education is very much key to these products and how it interacts with the customer. Because a lot of times I've seen a lot of horror stories about people not getting that proper education, especially in a retail store. And then there's an adverse reaction.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of things I do is write about a lot about how to prevent that and these standard operating procedures in order to avoid that, right? Or at least it's all about education from from everything that you can see. Very, very important for customers to understand that. And so with NuLeaf, I would imagine that you guys have like pamphlets and booklets and things like that to educate the public.
Oh yes, definitely have pamphlets. Shows what the breakdown of everything that's in there, what they're looking for. Basically give everybody the knowledge to show them what we have on both different sides of the aspect.
Actually, I heard you guys are opening up a new store too. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we'll be opening a new one on the Strip. It's
really?
Wyoming and Las Vegas Boulevard. Whole new store. That'll be our 3rd store already. That's our cultivation. So it'll be a really nice food area, nice foot traffic. So definitely going to be booming. We are definitely the home of the $48 quarters, $19 cards.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm actually a little bit of history of NuLeaf because I know Sean and Tim, and they came out of Berkeley Patients Group. So Berkeley Patients Group was one of the first dispensaries in the country, right? And so a lot of folks have modeled off of that, and so it's great to see those guys like taking it to a new level in other states. And what a better place than Las Vegas. I mean, Las Vegas is really heading in a great direction in terms of cannabis.
Oh yeah, definitely headed that way. I see it booming. Everything's coming more once it's all federally legal. This will be $billion business. I like helping people out and stuff like that.
Yeah, really providing people with an alternative form of therapeutic, alternatives, right? I mean, because if they don't have, if they're just using opioids, and it's terrible. That's a terrible way to go. If you at least give them the option.
Yeah, definitely. It's better, people are taking pills, overdosing on that.
Right.
I have plenty of people that come in here and they're like, I'm trying to get off pills, I'm trying to get off anxiety medication, I'm trying to get off Xanax, Oxycontins. I just give them the highest thing with myrcene in it, indica, sedative, relaxing. Now people coming in and thanking me, saying that they were going one way, now they can go the other. So it's cheaper. It's not going to have you go out, do something you're not going to do for some weed.
Right. I mean, how many folks do you see come in here per day? I mean, what does that average look like?
I'd say about 1,000 people.
1,000 people per day?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, about 1,000 people.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's this small square footage of a space, 1,000 people a day, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we do boom.
And then customer experience-wise, like, is there a specific curated experience that you walk customers, or your bud tenders walk customers through, that you train them on and to help with that process in terms of conversions? How's that look?
So as soon as they come in here, we like to ask, how do you like to consume? Do you like to smoke it, eat it, vape it, drink it? And then we go from there. They want to do edibles. They just say, is it your first time?
Yeah.
Are you looking for to relax? Are you looking for something more active? Then we go from there. If it's your first time, we recommend a 5 milligram dose, something more micro dose, something that's not going to give you too high, because some people that take 10 milligrams, it might be a little bit heavier for them. So we definitely recommend something lower. If it's more experienced people, we do the 10 milligrams, but we can't give them anything more than 10 because it's you have to be a medical patient.
Yeah. Back in California, it's like you could get a 450 milligram donut, right?
Oh yeah.
It was totally different, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
now, I mean, Nevada does a pretty good job, in terms of regulations. I mean, they regulate all kinds of things, right? So they've done a really good job about doing that. But again, it's about education, because someone could take a 10 milligram and still have an adverse reaction to it. Have you ever experienced that before, or what's happened in that realm?
Yeah, I experienced one time. I ate a sativa, 10 milligram. Yes, it was a little bit too much for me. It was more active, got me a little bit paranoid. So I stick more on the indica side, and then now I'll take half of it, but now I'm more experienced, so I take a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I just recommend it for anybody else that's out there.
Right. Have you had any customers come in and had an adverse reaction to the products that you sell? And what is that process? I mean, I know there's a recall process, right? I mean, you got to go contact the actual vendor. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, nobody here has had any reaction with that, because we are regulated so much that each one is dosed individually, so they're all separated. So you can just eat one and be fine. But if you decide to eat 2 or 3, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right. I mean, you can't stop people from consuming the whole thing if they don't follow the rules or understand. As long as you're providing that training material or the educational material, it's like a doctor's recommendation, right? So it's like they'll give you the recommendation on how to use the dosage. And then you guys are providing that, and that's really all you can do.
Yeah, like I tell them, hey, take one, give it about an hour to an hour and a half to feel the effect, because it has to break down and digest. So some people will wait 30 minutes and be like, oh, I want another one, another one. Then there's no going back from that.
Right.
Once you eat that, it's in there.
Right.
But there is a good way to counteract anything that you eat too much of. CBD retracts everything and helps you calm down. So if you ever do get too high, definitely take some CBD.
It's because it counters the effects, right? And I think that's a lot of things that a lot of people don't realize, is that you can use CBD to counter the effects. If you're too high, quote unquote, you can take CBD and it'll help calm you down. It takes a minute, but you can help calm you down and level things out. Like there's certain strains out there that are kind of equal. And you don't really get too high off of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you feel good, and you don't have this crazy anxiety or anything. It's it's really interesting, right? So how many products does NuLeaf like in terms of selection? Can you tell me how many brands are in the store?
Brands, we're limited, maybe 10, 15 brands, only because we mostly grow our own. We have our own cultivation, so we do our own weed, our vapes, cartridges, wax.
Which is in Reno, correct?
Yes, Sparks, Nevada.
Sparks,
Nevada.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
So we do that, but we also get other stuff people would like we have Wild, Prime, Famera, Camino Effects. We have a limited selection. It has to be good packaging, looking good.
Right.
It has to be the best of the best.
Right, well, sure, right? I mean, because you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? I mean,
Exactly.
you get some terrible packaging, or even packaging that's not compliant.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely has to have at least 3 terps labeled on it. It
Uh-huh.
has to come from the state. It has to be tested. Everything has to be tested here.
Of course.
Before it comes to us, you have to show us the lab results.
Yeah.
Then we're accepted in. If it doesn't have that, we do get a lot of vendors from California trying to get in.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I would imagine so.
But they have to have a license here. If you have a license here, we'll mess with you. But if
Well,
you
see,
don't,
that's the
we
thing.
won't.
Yeah, I mean, everything is geographically limited, right? So, in my business in resource consulting, I have you have to go to each state, and you can only buy from licensed suppliers in that state, right? Whether it's cultivators or manufacturers, however you want to look at it, and you can only accept that, right? So coming out of state, now we will see that there will be interstate distribution once we have federal legalization.
Yeah.
Even the state of Oregon has already announced some had some laws passed ready to be passed for that, right? For that specific purpose, just getting ready for it, because it's going to happen. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And eventually we're going to see the borders open up, and then you'll be able to accept vendors from places like California, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
unless you have a license in the state, you guys can't accept any product unless it's perfectly licensed in the state. And all that's recorded in your inventory control system anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah. It comes from a metric system that the state compliance board has, and we go through. It's called metric system. So
Yes.
we go in there. The vendor has to send it to the CBC first, and the metric sends it to us. So it's all put in there already as well.
Right.
It's called green bits, so we have the whole thing set up.
Right, right. And what kind of POS system are you using, buddy?
We're using green bits right now.
Oh, you're using green bits. No, because I thought I heard you mention that. So yeah.
Yeah. No, green bits definitely handles all that.
And do you guys, so I know like with dispensaries, cash handling it has always been a big. I mean, like when I first started, helping people open up these businesses, it was like finding like a local credit union. Or something along those lines, right? But mainly it's just cash handling procedures. So are you guys offering like, debit, pin debit solutions and credit card solutions now?
Well, we do have an ATM machine right there.
Okay, so you're using the ATM. Yeah. So ATMs, I mean, that's always been a nice counterpart to this.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are starting to become some more solutions out there for PIN debit and credit card solutions, which can limit that that vulnerability, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what we do is we have a desktop. So what we do is like it's like an ATM withdrawal. We have them right here, $2.95 fee. We just round it up.
You guys own the ATM?
Huh?
You guys own the ATM?
No, we don't. We don't own the ATM. No, that's up higher. We should. Yeah.
You better tell management about that.
You definitely need to buy one.
Okay, man. Well, I mean, like, I would love to, do a round of like looking at some of these products. But before we do that, I would like for you to give like our audience, 3 important tips from being a sales manager in a dispensary. What have you learned over the many years of doing this? Like, what have you learned that's like some of the best tips for anybody that's looking to be a sales manager, looking to open up a dispensary? That would be extremely helpful.
Well, first thing of all, you got to know the product. You got to be able to walk in here and say, that product, we could drop the price down. That product, we could raise it. You got to be able to look at flour and know what's good and what's not. What has light burn on it, what doesn't. You got to be able to be quick on your feet. You got to know basically every ins and outs here. I've been here 3 years. I can tell you every little thing that's in here right now.
Right.
Just point at it, I know exactly what it is. One of the biggest factors that you need to know is your whole building. You need to know everybody. You need to know the personalities of all your team players. You know everybody individually. Know what their weaknesses and what their strengths are, and maneuver that in there.
Right.
That's the best of the best right there. You have to know your staff.
Right.
Happy staff, happy life. That's the way I put it.
Right. What about number 2? What do you think is the second good tip for folks out there? What do you think?
The second good tip is, you're gonna get a bunch of vendors coming in here. Never promise one thing. Never promise anything. Always go based on how it turns out. It's pretty hard on that one.
Right.
Because you're getting about 1 million people in here, 1 million emails a day. Learn how to separate good ones from bad ones. Exactly. Learn how to filter them.
Right on. And number 3, what do you think?
Number 3, love what you do. You need to love your job. I love cannabis. I can't stand. I wouldn't be nowhere else in the world. This is where I was meant to be. I knew it in California. Now I found my roots, put them in there, and planted it, and here I am.
Right on, man. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Nigga
you
Bar.
very much.
This is Green Rush Revolution. We're here at NuLeaf. Thank you guys so much.
you.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon.